Well, good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Grumman Pilot's YouTube channel. And today we're going to talk about airplane owner maintenance cost, or as we like to say, what does it cost to really own an airplane? Let's investigate and find out what it's going to take. So we would like to ask you please subscribe, hit the like button, and hit the notify to stay current with our content. Now, when we talk about airplane cost, this is going to be general for any airplane, not specific to Grumman. It can be a Cessna, it can be a Beechcraft, whatever. But when you go to buy it, you're going to have a purchase price. And then when you operate the airplane, you're going to have some fuel and oil cost. You're going to have your fixed cost, which will be insurance and your rent. Are you tying down or are you in a hangar? And then you're going to have the maintenance costs as you put wear and tear on the airplane and keep it flying. So these are all the things that you will need to know about buying any airplane. So when you want to buy an airplane, you'll be like this guy right here, Kevin. He showed up one day asking about airplanes, and he had a list of questions. And we're going to try to answer those questions based upon, we don't care what you paid for it, because your purchase price will be your purchase price. But let's talk about the fixed and the operating and the maintenance costs that you just expect as part of owning an airplane. And it is a great thing to do if you can afford it, but let's talk about what it's going to take. Okay, now in your fixed cost, you're going to have rent. Are you going to be tying down, or are you going to be in a hangar? So that's going to depend greatly. So you can save a little money there by tying down versus being in a hangar. And then you're also going to have your insurance, and you can wiggle the money there a little bit by depending upon your deductible and what kind of limits you're covering on the airplane. So that's your fixed cost, and that will apply whether you fly the airplane or not, because you're going to pay that every month to have a place to put it, and your insurance is usually for a year. Now, your operating costs are going to be your fuel and oil. Oil is going to be minimum. You're going to use about 50 cents an hour for oil, pretty much independent of what you're paying for oil. But fuel is where they're going to get you, and it's going to depend upon what's your fuel burn per hour at cruise, how much is fuel in your area. And we're just going for back of the envelope calculations. You can kind of get a ballpark. And as you can see right here, that for a Tiger burning 10 gallons an hour, you're going to be burning $50 an hour. If you've got an O320 powering the airplane, you're going to be burning about 8 gallons an hour at cruise. There's $40. And if you got an O235, you're going to be burning about 6. And there you go. You can do the math. So those are your operating costs for fuel and oil. And then you're going to have some maintenance costs in your airplane, because as you use it, you're going to be doing things like wearing the tires every time you land. There goes a little bit of rubber on the runway. You're going to be wearing out your brakes. You're going to be burning out light bulbs. So there are going to be some maintenance costs that you're going to have, and you're going to have to work out what you feel that's going to be on a per hour basis, so that you know that what it's going to cost you to use that airplane when you fly it. Now, also in flying your airplanes, what we like to call, like from the rental days, you have a dry time. That's how much it took to buy the airplane for an hour of time, and then you had to put your own fuel in it. Or you could rent it wet, where the cost that you paid was by the hour for the maintenance of the airplane and the fuel burn. So we're going to be talking about the dry time, and this is going to be what basically it's going to be the engine is going to be your big cost. So we're going to look at the example of what does an engine cost you per hour to have in the airplane when you're using it. Now let's take the example of an engine, and if you run your engine by the manufacturer's recommendation, you'll make it to TBO, which is time between overhaul, which will be 2,000 hours for a normal Lycoming engine. That's 12 years calendar time going by. So that's 166 hours a year flying the airplane, which works out to be about 13.8 hours per month to keep the engine properly lubricated and used to prevent moisture on the inside. But when you look at all that, that's about a $20 an hour maintenance cost for your engine. And then you can figure that with the annuals and everything on that airplane, then we need to figure the maintenance cost for that engine over time. So looking a little bit closer at the engine, by the time you figure in all the maintenance, you take what a typical annual will be divided by the number of hours you fly for that year, and you're going to wind up somewhere around the $12 an hour mark for what you should be putting aside for the maintenance work that you're going to have to pay on your airplane. So therefore, by the time you add up the engine cost, because every time you use an hour on the engine, it's one less it has, and you had to buy the engine, you're getting a dry time rate of about $35 an hour. That every time you fly the airplane, you need to put that money away in your maintenance budget. Now, again, this is all just general numbers and a very high level view, but now you've seen some of the actual cost you can expect to pay for owning an airplane. So, ladies and gentlemen, these are all very high level numbers, but it kind of gives you a feel for how the numbers play with what it means to own an airplane and what it's going to cost you to do it. So we hope we've answered these questions for you adequately and given you reasons to explore more. I mean, we didn't cover purchase price, the details of that, pre-purchase inspection, registration to the FAA every 3 years, re-registering them. You know, those are all costs that you're going to have to deal with. But we hope you found the overview of what it costs to own an airplane useful and informative. I'd like to thank you for watching and have a great day flying your Grumman or whatever airplane you buy. Again, thanks. And in addition, there's a little treat about 3 o'clock in the morning when I'm doing web work and other stuff. Here's my cat coming down, playing with a mouse and meowing and just having a good time with me in the wee hours of the night. So I thought I'd throw this into you as a little treat. Y'all please enjoy.